Good morning, beautiful, lovely dreamers out there. This is the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. It is December 19th, 2023. This is episode 20. I have made it 20 episodes. That's almost 3 weeks, everybody. Statistically, that puts me in the 1% of 1% of podcasts, since most of them fail after 3 episodes. All right. So, what have I been up to? So yesterday was a big recovery day for me for my long weekend in Medford, Oregon. After work, I crashed and slept for like 5 hours because I had pulled pretty much an all-nighter a couple times, actually. And there's something that I was thinking about today. So if you follow me closely, you might know that a while ago, about 5-6 months ago, I was doing a little social, not a social experiment, a personal fitness experiment, where I was trying to see if I could train my body to dunk a basketball at my ripe old age of 42, also never having had dunked a basketball even in my prime, which when I was maybe 25, 26, I could touch the rim of a 10-foot basketball rim. And since then, I probably hadn't ever touched rim in my 30s and definitely not in my 40s until this last year when I really started to focus on my fitness and on my jumping. And I got to the point to where I could jump up and touch rim. Then a bunch of stuff happened, and I got out of my routines and out of my exercise routines and out of my diets, and I was traveling a bunch and touring a bunch. And as anybody who knows, who's ever tried to hit a fitness goal, there is just so many other things that can come in and distract. So I have started that back up, not with the fervor that I was doing earlier this year, but it is something that I'm starting to ramp back up. And so there's a much deeper existential reason for this whole dunking a basketball thing. And it sort of has to do with what I was discussing yesterday, this whole idea of going for dreams versus just being completely delusional in terms of what it is that I'm actually seeking, and is what I'm seeking even within the realm of possibility. That's what I'm trying to grapple with. Psychologically, spiritually, paradigm, belief system, and all of that is what ooh, look at that. I got cut today playing basketball. What actually is possible? Because people will say, anything's possible, and I don't think so. I think there is such a thing as impossible in terms of what any one human being can possibly achieve in a lifetime. Now, that's not to say that there are not things that seem impossible, but that actually are. If the right amount of effort and energy and consistency is put behind that effort. However, I also think that there are things that no matter how much energy or how much effort or consistency is put into it, will never be achieved within a specific person's lifetime. Now, it doesn't mean that same thing isn't possible for somebody else, but if I'm just talking about myself, since this is my podcast and I'm all kinds of narcissistic about it, like what actually is possible for me, and not in the fluffy, oh, anything's possible sense, but like in the very practical, like, no, Paul, if you take these steps consistently for X amount of time, this result will happen, this outcome will occur. And that, I don't know, that just messes with my head. So it has to coincide with this idea that I have a big dream, not only as a performer, right? So I have this big ambitious, what I feel is a very ambitious, definitely unlikely. I don't feel like what I'm going for is typical. If it was typical, then it wouldn't be a dream. It would just sort of happen. But the flip side of that is what actually is 100% impossible for me to accomplish. So I keep going back and forth with that. So when I started this whole dunking a basketball thing, and it's been almost a year, I started it literally Christmas Eve last year, Christmas Eve 2022, just on a whim. And it really was, for me, an opportunity just to challenge my own paradigm of, okay, I know that I'm never going to be an NBA basketball player. That is impossible for this Paul Green to accomplish in this lifetime. Playing in the NBA, if that was my dream, that's an impossible goal. No matter how hard I worked, no matter how much effort or energy or consistency or mindset or meditation, there's no way that me, as a 42-year-old white dude who can barely play the game at all, is going to end up in the NBA, right? If I were to declare that as my dream, then everybody would be able to say, no. 42-year-old NBA players can't play in the NBA. Shaq can't play in the NBA. You know what I mean? So, it's just not going to happen, right? But what actually is possible, although maybe unlikely or just extremely difficult. It's what's the difference between an extremely difficult, arduous goal, but possible, as opposed to absolutely, objectively impossible dream? I don't know if I'm explaining this well. I know I'm getting very, very cerebral here for a Tuesday morning, but with this idea of okay, well, I know I'm not going to play in the NBA, but is it actually possible for me to train my body at my age with my genetics, with my skill set, with all of the things working against me and for me, that if I do put in a significant amount of consistent effort and energy and work, could I train my body, this body, in this linear time frame of reality in this universe, to jump high enough to get my hand over the rim while holding a basketball to slam it down? And that's being able to do that would be one thing, but it would also, I think, shatter my paradigm a little bit. I think I've spent so much of my life just kind of going with the flow, just kind of doing whatever sort of came naturally and easy for me. And I don't know, that I think I've done myself a tremendous disservice just in terms of my life in general, because I think I've allowed myself to believe that certain things that maybe actually were possible, I allowed myself to believe were in that impossible realm. Everything I've wanted is the equivalent of me playing in the NBA. It's well, maybe not. Playing in the NBA is definitely impossible. But is everything that I want that isn't my current reality, that's just hard, also playing in the NBA? And that's where I'm going, well, maybe not. Maybe there actually is this other realm of possibility for my life, and the only thing keeping me from it is effort. Whereas, sure, there are a number of things that no amount of effort would ever compensate or allow me to realize them. It's like, okay, let's put all that stuff on the shelf. Let's put playing in the NBA on the shelf. Let's put throwing a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl on the shelf. Okay, those are impossible dreams for me in this lifetime. However, maybe there's this other shelf that is full of things that seem impossible or that seem unlikely, but no, actually are achievable for me in this lifetime. And so when I took on this challenge to dunk a basketball, what I was really doing was taking on a challenge to see, can I get something on this other shelf? Can I achieve something on this other shelf that is definitely not easy? It's not going to just come to me. But is it possible if I really, really work for it long, hard, consistently for a long period of time? So I've been at this dunking a basketball thing. Again, it will be almost a year. It'll be a year Christmas Eve. Almost everything that I have done has been more failure than success. I mean, it took me months and months and months of really hard, consistent failing, no progress, to where one day I jumped up and I touched rim. And it blew my mind. That took me, I think I was like 3 months in of every day, like doing specific jump exercises and programs. And I touched rim, and then like a day later, I injured my knee and I couldn't walk for a month. And it reset everything. And again, as I got all discouraged and blah, 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 blah. And then when I reset, it took me another 4 months to get back to where I could even touch rim again. But there was about a week and a half period in the summer, June, July, where I could jump up and touch rim. I could just do it on a regular basis. So it was improvement, right? It was, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that before. I couldn't just jump up and touch rim. And then I got to a point to where I trained my body to get to where I could at least touch rim. So I'm going, well, if I can increase my vertical that much, what's to say I couldn't increase it a little bit more? Just a little bit more. It's like, I don't need to do a tomahawk reverse jam. It's like, I just want to get the ball over the rim. Can I do that? Can I take that goal on that shelf and actually get that goal? So yeah, there's a lot more to it than just the vanity of touching a rim, because if I can do that, then it's like, well, what else is available on this shelf to me? I feel like it's me opening up my personality, my life to just a lot more possibilities, a lot more experiences. So even though I've had huge setbacks, I've gotten thrown off the path many, many times, there's something that is keeping me holding on to that one kind of random dream of dunking a basketball, while I'm also pursuing my bigger dream of really becoming successful and famous and all of that stuff as a comedian and as an actor, performer, entertainer, all of those things. Because that dream also feels like it's on this shelf. Like, I don't think it's impossible. I don't think that this dream of becoming a professional, successful comedian and actor, to me, it doesn't feel like it's on the same shelf as playing in the NBA. But it definitely feels like it's on this other shelf of trying to dunk a basketball. Like, oh yeah, it's possible for you, but it's not going to come easy. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of setbacks and a lot of consistency and a lot of energy. But if I can put that amount of energy into dunking a basketball, what's to say I can't put that amount of energy into achieving my goals as a performer? So anyway, those are the thoughts that I have going on, and if that resonates with anybody, I would just say, let's all work together and see what we can accomplish on this shelf over here, on the possible but hard shelf, and we'll leave all of the impossible stuff on that other shelf, and we'll just leave that alone and just be okay with the fact that, being Shaquille O'Neal is just not possible for me in this lifetime. That's not what I'm achieving. There are, I'm sure, plenty of, young high school basketball players and college basketball players who have that dream of becoming the next Shaquille O'Neal, the next Kobe, the next Jordan, and all that stuff. And for all of those people out there, if that dream actually, that for me is on this shelf, for you is on this shelf over here, then I say, hey, let's go for it. Let's go get that dream for you. And then for the rest of us, let's find out what is the dream that is calling to us, that is on the shelf of possibility, but hard. But definitely not on the shelf of impossible. So, and when it comes to that, anybody out there pursuing those dreams, you have my love, you have my support, and my empathy and my understanding of how challenging that journey can be, no matter what it is. Whether it's an artistic dream, a performance dream, a business dream, an entrepreneurial dream, a relationship dream, a family dream, a professional dream, whatever it is. I'm with you. I feel you. I hear you. And I'm on that journey with you, and here to cheer you on, and cheer you on while I'm trying to do the same thing. So let's make it a great Tuesday, everybody. I love you all so much. All my encouragement to you, and we will let's see what we can accomplish on the hard but possible shelf. All right, everybody. That's it for me today. This is December 19th, 2023, episode 20 of the Paul Green Comedy PaulCast. I'll talk to you soon.